Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Please stay with me for the next 10 to 15 minutes as I highlight the latest news events and provide commentary for February 15th, 2026 regarding local, regional, and international security, political, and social issues. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, the government has rejected opposition claims that it interfered politically with the results of the Calypso Fiesta held last Saturday at Skinner Park, San Fernando. Culture Minister Michelle Benjamin denied any involvement in undermining Calypsonians who chose to perform political commentary, particularly those critical of the government. She argued that any perception of political bias lies with the opposition. Everyone knows for many years now, for decades now, that the PNM used the Calypso Arena in order to target unfairly as well target the UNC. So even if something is taking place that I'm not saying is the right thing, but even if it's taking place, PNM has no right to be able to speak about it or highlight it. They've been doing it for decades. My response, PNM didn't recognize political bias when Lady Gypsy said publicly that she was prohibited from singing a song against the Balize party a few years ago. How come most calypsos were inspirational when the mighty Emperor Thanos Rowley was ruling us with an iron fist for the past 10 years? How come? How come even the media was speaking about it for years now, and the media is basically PNM media? And most calypsos were very inspirational. During that time, people avoided criticizing the PNM government for the past 10 years, but now all of a sudden, it is wrong to choose people that are singing more inspirational songs. Why? That's because the UNC is in government now? Is that fair, my dear PNM patriots? I mean, come on, we have to be fair outside here. The Ministry of the People, Social Development and Family Services through the National Social Development Program on Friday, February 13, 2026, continued the delivery of home repair and disaster general assistance grants to benefit vulnerable households across the country, something that you were barely seeing taking place for the past 10 years under who? Rowley. A total of 16 households from the port of Spain. Listen to where? So it's not about politics. UNC is definitely serving everyone, even in areas that still vote for PNM, especially Diego Martin and Port of Spain, the most faithful wives of the PNM. A total of 16 households from the Port of Spain and Diego Martin areas received home repair grants totaling $332,960, which will go towards the benefit of 45 individuals. Total, not one person received that. This initiative continues to enable families to repair and improve the safety and functionality of their homes. Additionally, 9 households representing 20 beneficiaries received $80,269 in disaster assistance recovery grants to help in faster and more resilient recovery. The ministry remains committed to improving the quality of life for citizens recovering from disaster and those facing financial hardship, no matter where you live in Trinidad or Tobago, unlike when PNM is in office. The Honorable Vandana Mohit, Minister of the People, Social Development and Family Services, reasserted that it is the ministry's fulfillment of the solemn responsibility of the government to stand with its people during times of need. You really want to stand with us along with this? I'm commending you very much for this. This is wonderful news. Remove those extra fees and fines, and you will win the elections in 2030. Don't do it, and you may very well still lose in spite of doing so much good. More than 1,000 citizens will gain employment this carnival season under the government's Upkeep of Carnival Spaces program. Speaking with the media on Friday, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Khadija Amin, another really hard-working member of the UNC government. Yes, she is definitely one that I hope continues to move forward or move upward in the UNC party. So anyhow, speaking with the media on Friday, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government Khadija Amin said the ministry will be working closely with representatives of the National Carnival Commission to ensure the maintenance of carnival venues, streets, and parade routes, not just within the Port of Spain region area, but across all 14 municipal corporations in the country. Continue to expand that program. We need that service, I'm telling you, in the communities as well. Maintenance of the roadways, the drains, and so forth.
So the amounts per region varies depending on the regional carnival activities that they have scheduled. We have assigned the workers to the municipal corporations who will coordinate. Some of the corporations also are, in addition to supervising, providing additional equipment such as trucks for pickup of the garbage, water trucks to wash down the streets, and other forms of support.
Beaches will also be a focal point.
A lot of people go camping on the beach in the Toko and Matlot and Moruga areas and so on. We are prepared for that. So those teams are out there cleaning the beaches for the past 2 weeks, and after the Ash Wednesday cool down for Ash Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, as well as the weekend after Carnival, these teams will be particularly focused on the beaches and the areas that you have cool down activities.
The minister is also encouraging members of the public to play their part in keeping our nation's roads and carnival venues clean.
Really, people have to be mindful of their surroundings. Look for a garbage bag, carry home your garbage. But, people are so focused on enjoyment that they don't focus on, they don't remember to be mindful of the environment and not throw away their bottles.
The overseas mission of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are being repositioned to better translate international engagement into tangible domestic benefits, including access to financing, technical cooperation, and strategic partnerships that support real development outcomes at home. This was noted in Parliament by Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Foreign Investment, and Diaspora Affairs, Fitzgerald Bramble. They have some really long titles in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But anyhow, during his contribution to the 2026 budget debate, Minister Bramble noted that the country's new foreign policy is shaped by the government's election manifesto and the current global climate. The new regime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is definitely on the right path for now. Let's see if they will remain there.
Our government's manifesto recognizes a defining reality of our time. And that is that for small states, foreign policy is no longer an adjunct to development. It's not a little piece of something that you put in the corner and hope that something is going to happen. Friendships must count for something. Relationships must redound to the improvement of the lives of our people. Otherwise, we're wasting time. Thus, Madam Speaker, the foreign policy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines must be viewed through the lens of being principally and instrumentally linked to our national development. This new foreign policy is a vision fully aligned with the priorities articulated in the budget address yesterday by the Honorable Minister of Finance and Honorable Prime Minister to foster economic renewal, good governance, climate resilience, national development, and every good thing for every Vincentian.
Approximately 85% of local women-led enterprises will be a part of 50 businesses participating in AgroFest 2026. This is according to the Guyana Office for Investment, which is coordinating the 5th consecutive group for participation at AgroFest. Guyana's participation in the annual agricultural exhibition in Barbados has remained a cornerstone in strengthening the country's position as a regional powerhouse. I really want to start highlighting news from Barbados as well. Another significant island here in the West Indies. I just cannot find so far any news pages or news groups on Facebook or online that I can access some good, credible news from. If anyone that is viewing my content from in Barbados, you can send me a link, put a link in the YouTube comments, and so that I can follow a news page from Barbados. I can start highlighting issues from out of your island, your country as well. It has been more than 3 months since Hurricane Melissa devastated Western Jamaica, but the impact is still being felt in the region, with some families in Hanover whose homes were destroyed still being housed in shelters after all this time. Speaking at Thursday's monthly meeting of the Hanover Municipal Corporation, Lucia Deputy Mayor Andrina Dahini Grant said approximately 20 persons were still occupying shelters across the parish as they have no homes to return to because of the impact of the hurricane. And in spite of that, now of all times, the Andrew Holness administration is looking to raise taxes on citizens who are trying to recover from total devastation. You were doing well for the past 10 years by not adding any new taxes, Andrew Holness. Stay on the right path. Reverse that new policy that you're planning in order to be able to allocate more revenue in order to recover the country. You're being counterproductive at this point in time, sir. International news now. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, speaking in Munich about Iran, stated, "If we back out now, it will be the biggest mistake we've ever made, far worse than the Syrian Red Line, far worse than Afghanistan." And Afghanistan was a tragedy. Yeah? They should have. I don't know what they should have really done there. They couldn't continue remaining there indefinitely. But I believe the way they pulled out, even Trump said that. Remember, I believe they pulled out under Biden, and it was not done in a proper way. And basically, the terrorists just took back over control after so many years of Afghanistan. You can't say keep protesting. That's what Trump was telling them to do, the Iranians. You can't say keep protesting, we got your back, help is on the way, and nothing is happening. Lindsey Graham is one of the most outspoken individuals in the Republican Party right now. A whole lot more should be telling Trump the same thing. Get your act together, President, and get the job done. Finish the job.
Can't say, keep protesting, we got your back, help's on the way, and nothing happened. That's why I am confident that President Trump will get an outcome consistent with those three statements through diplomacy or military force. Let me just say this. Any deal about Iran has to come to the Senate. I'm not going to bless a bad deal.
Closing off now with an interesting fact segment. What happens when you invest directly in a community's future? Self-made millionaire Harris Rosen decided to find out when he adopted a Florida neighborhood known as Tangelo Park. Instead of just offering temporary solutions, he focused on long-term systemic change by providing two crucial resources: completely free daycare for everyone in the neighborhood and guaranteed college scholarships for all high school graduates. The results of this incredible philanthropy spoke for themselves. By removing the heavy financial burdens associated with early childhood care and higher education, the community experienced a massive transformation. The local crime rate was effectively cut in half. Even more astoundingly, the high school graduation rate within the neighborhood skyrocketed from a struggling 25% to a perfect 100%. Now, of course, assisting individuals, I know a lot of the times, my conservative side doesn't really believe a lot in like handouts and so forth. But the Bible says that we are supposed to assist those in need and so forth. And therefore, I think this is a very inspirational story. Of course, you also need to ensure that you instill the proper types of values and morals, biblical morals and values, into the individuals that you are assisting as well. And I believe it's very possible to an extent. The showing of the act of kindness and love, which the Bible says for us to do, also encourages people to stay on the right path, you know. That is a fact. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.